Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 3, and today we're taking a look at the 1977 Aston Martin V8 Vantage. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this, but this is easily one of my favourite cars in the game, and one of my favourite cars of all time, quite frankly. And yeah, the Vantage was built from 1977 to 1989, but only 534 units were ever produced in that 12-year period, which makes it one of the rarest post-60s Aston Martins ever, quite frankly. And yeah, it was based on the Aston Martin V8, which was formerly the DBS V8. And yeah, it looked slightly different and had more power. The AM V8 only had 305 horsepower in 1977, the same year that this car was produced. And yeah, this was considered Britain's first supercar, thanks to its high rate of speed, its high acceleration, and yeah, it's a huge amount of power from its really rather fantastic Lagonda engine, which we'll take a look at now. So yeah, it's a 5.3 litre V8 engine, and it produces 380 horsepower and 380 pounds-feet of torque. So that's 75 horsepower more than the standard Aston Martin V8 from the same year as this car, which is a big difference. And yeah, the American versions of this car had even less power, under 300 horsepower apparently. So yeah, this car was great. Vast improvement over the standard Aston Martin V8, and even better obviously than the likes of the American versions. Decent sized boot as well, and as you would have seen when I got in, decent space in the rear. So yeah, it can easily handle 3 extra passengers and a sizable portion of luggage. And even though this is considered a supercar, I personally consider this more to be of a GT car, and that's not because it handles badly or anything like that, but considering how spacious it is inside, and how you know, luxurious it is compared to the likes of Ferrari, which were going for lightness over luxury, whereas this was, you know, a luxurious car that just so happened to be fast. Then that's why I consider it more of a GT car. But this car is far more impressive than just the way it looks in terms of the space and in terms of the power. It's also a cracking car to drive. So yeah, let's take this out onto the circuit and see what it can do. So see you when we get there. Right, here we are. So yeah, what does this car have outside of its looks, which I love? The spacious interior and the luxurious feel to it. Well, it also has solid acceleration and a high rate of top speed. So yeah, 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds, 0 to 113.2 seconds. And here's a bit that made it really considered the Britain's first supercar, top speed of 175 miles an hour, which quite frankly wipes the floor with previous high rate of sports cars like the Jaguar E-Type, which have struggled to hit 140, 150 mile an hour. So yeah, 175 mile an hour back in 1977, which is, you know, 40 years ago, is really rather impressive. Easily one of the fastest cars in the world at that time. And yeah, besides the high rate of speed and acceleration, it's also got fairly decent handling for the time. No, it's not some high rate, you know, high agile sports car like a Ferrari from the time or anything like that. But for a car that weighs 3,803 pounds and has just rear wheel drive, it's really rather good. But the yeah, you can't take liberties with it a lot of the time. It will oversteer, like that for instance, if you push it. And even though it's not difficult to regain control, you really don't want to, you know, continue to overstep the mark, because you will spin out. And yeah, considering how high rate of speed you can get in this vehicle, it's not going to be a slow spin, that's for sure. I also like the sound of the engine as well. It doesn't sound like your typical V8, especially from, you know, likes of America, which were king of the V8 sports cars at the time, or muscle cars to be more specific. And it does rev a hell of a lot higher than American V8s as well, at more than 6,000 RPM, and way higher than the likes of, you know, the Pontiac Trans Am, which was out at this time of the year, which only had a 200 horsepower, far bigger V8, which kind of puts this car into perspective, quite frankly, in terms of horsepower. Even the American versions of this car had way more power than that Pontiac, which just shows how lazy those American car manufacturers were at the time with desperate attempts to make the cars meet emissions. I mean, if a small time, well, relatively small time, car company in Britain can overcome their emissions regulations and still have plenty of power, then there's no reason why big companies like GM or Ford couldn't do it, but obviously they couldn't. So yeah, this is easily one of my favourite cars, like I said. It's got everything going for it. It's got power, it's got looks, it's got engine noise, it's got a great engine, it's got decent acceleration, really good high rate of speed, handling, even though it's basic and really rather, you know, caveman-like, I guess you could say, in terms of how it handles, especially compared to your modern day Aston Martins, but you know, it does the job and it's far better handling than anything else that you could get a V8 with at the time, which is obviously compensated by the fact that it's also practical and yeah, it's got that wonderful Aston Martin legacy behind it as well. So yeah, no real complaints out in with this car, quite frankly. The only sorry, took my hand off the controller then for a split second. The only real complaint is the part of the car where the exhausts are. It just looks like a bit of a afterthought. Just hangs a little bit low and doesn't really look like it's part of the car's original design, if you know what I mean. Just like it's been, looks like it's been attached on as an afterthought. But apart from that, love the looks in general, especially the fact that it's got that long bonnet and that short tail. Classic sports car looks. And yeah, I'm really glad they've finally put this car back in a Forza game, because yeah, it's not been in a Forza game properly for a very long time. I know it was a car that you could get in the Rivals events in Forza Motorsport 6, but this car's not been in a Forza game properly since I think Forza Motorsport 4. So yeah, highly pleased to see it back in, along with the Vantage V600 that we reviewed not long ago. And yeah, as a result, we got probably one of the best Aston Martin lineups in Forza history, quite frankly. And yeah, this is really worth trying out because it's a great car. Might not stand up to modern day standards, but you got to think 40 years ago for a car to be able to do 175 mile an hour with all that power and still be a car that you can use every day is really rather impressive. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.